our economy. Here to talk about oil and energy, two experts from Indianapolis, John Hofmeister, the former president of Shell Oil, the CEO of Citizens for Affordable Energy. Great to have you with us, John. And here in our New York studios, my colleague Eric Bowling, the host of Follow the Money here on Fox Business. Eric, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Let me turn to you, John. The idea that we'll put the Gulf of Mexico back into production. The Obama administration says we've never produced more oil. We're rolling in this stuff by historical standards. What's your reaction?
Well, of course, we have produced a lot more oil in the past. We used to produce 10 million barrels a day. We're currently at 7. And because of the Obama administration's policies in the Gulf of Mexico, we're headed for 6. The temporary blip that the president's talking about came about because of investment decisions made in the middle of the decade, 2004, 5, 6. It had nothing to do with the Obama administration, I can assure you.
Eric, the idea that we would get the Gulf of Mexico back into production, the administration just approved a new permit. You've got to be thrilled with that.
Did they, Lou? Well, what happened was a federal judge ordered them to start the approval process again. And guess who got the first permit? The only permit since the BP disaster just about 10 or 11 months ago. The first permit, the only one, BP. He blamed BP for dragging his feet on permitting more deep water drilling. And now he says, guess what, BP, you're going to get the first one. Bottom line is, take a step back. Look what's happened to gasoline under the Obama administration. When he took office, January 20th, 2009, $1.83 a gallon, Lou. Today, $3.55, 93% higher. Don't look at what he's saying. Look at what's actually happening out there in the economy.
What is happening, and what a lot of people right now, as they are watching and listening to you gentlemen, they're wondering what's going to happen to fuel prices, because they hear correctly that we're going to see a shift on the part of the Japanese economy from nuclear to fossil fuels. John, what do you judge the impact to be on both crude oil and other energy prices as a result of what's happened and what is happening in Japan?
Well, Japan is losing significant amount of electricity production from its nuclear fleet. With the shutdowns that they're experiencing, they have to shut them down. They're not safe. And as a consequence, they're going to rely on liquefied natural gas, which they have a lot of capacity to produce, and they have oil capacity to produce electricity as well. So we're going to see increased spot prices for liquefied natural gas. They're going to need 1 billion to 2 billion cubic feet additional a day. They're going to need a couple 100,000 additional barrels of oil a day. And we're already at a tenuous point. This is going to add to the price creep that's taking place.
This price creep is going to be also, it seems to me, delayed a bit, because it's going to take a while, Eric, for the Japanese, as efficient, effective, and productive as they are in the midst of this mess, to move forward with a transfer from now dormant nuclear to aggressively using crude and liquefied natural gas.
Liquefied natural gas, other natural gas. So the issue, Japan will right its ship. They'll get their act together. The problem is we have congressmen like Ed Markey in Massachusetts. We have Senator Lieberman saying, put the brakes on our nuclear program right now. This is left-wing environmentalists saying nuclear is too dangerous for us. It's not. We need nuclear, because, as John Hofmeister points out, if we're not going to use nuclear power to generate only 19% or going forward more, if we're not going to use that, we have to rely on fossil fuels. It's either going to be a natural gas, or, as John well knows, it's going to be a form of heavy oil, a diesel oil that you can burn to turn the turbine to create electricity. Any hydrocarbon you take off the market for that use means there's fewer hydrocarbons going towards gasoline use, and gasoline prices will go up.
Fossil fuels, John, in this country, they make us the most energy-rich nation of the planet. As you listen to this administration, you listen to others, including Ed Markey, you would think that it's unthinkable that we would have a rich potential when it comes to energy, that we should be dependent on the Middle East in perpetuity. Why is that understanding so elusive to the national media and to so many in this country?
I think, Lou, it's a great question, and we have taken for granted that we will always have imports available to us. But here's what's really happening in the world out there. China is going to go from 9 million barrels a day consumption to 15 million barrels a day in the next 5 years. Where's that oil coming from? India is going to go from 4 million to 7 million in the next 5 years. That's almost 10 million barrels just for 2 countries. And we have been really, I think, irresponsible. Our political leadership for the last 8 presidential terms and 19 Congresses have been irresponsible to the American need for domestic production.
John?
We've eliminated and could create 3 million jobs if we just went back to the level of production we had 20 years ago.
Thank you very much, John Hofmeister. Eric, thank you for being with us. Eric
Glad
Bolling.
to have you on the